All right, Leroy Eugene Smith.
Present, Your Honor. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
How you doing, Your Honor?
Doing great. How are you doing?
Both fine.
All right, today is plea deadline date. Is this going to be a jury trial?
It is, Your Honor. We are currently negotiating with the state, but we are not going to be accepting any plea today.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date. How long do y'all expect this trial to last?
Very short, Judge. Probably 2 days, Your Honor.
All right, this will be 2 days, and it will be family violence. All right, October 7th, and I'll make an acknowledgement of discovery signed before you all leave.
Yes, Your Honor. Okay, Judge.
All right, once you receive the reset form, you're excused once you sign it, okay?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Oh, Judge, one other thing I wanted to bring up
Yes,
with Mr. Smith. He's currently on GPS partial.
yes.
We wanted to approach the court about doing GPS tracking only. He's had no violations. He has no criminal history. He does do dialysis and GPS gives him permission for that.
All right. State, do you have any objection to having a tracking only, but just give locations where he's not allowed to be?
We would, only because of the nature of the charge being that the victim is a child. We would object and have it asked to have it remain as partial.
So here's my question. Is the child in school?
No, we're talking about an infant.
He's too young for school. It's an infant.
All right, so just where's the child going to be and he's not allowed to be?
And I'm on the northeast side. Well, the child is on.
Here's the thing. This is what I want to know. If the child is at a daycare, then he can't be in the vicinity of the daycare. If the child is at a home, then he can't be on that street or near the home. Is there any objection to that?
To those terms, no.
All right, so if you all will do the order, the court will sign it.
Okay, I'll get that to you, Judge.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Your Honor.
Thank you. Anthony Cochran. All right, it's plea deadline date.
No, Judge, he pled at the last setting. We're set for PSI today. If you'll remember, the state recommended deferred, but he still wanted to do the full PSI so he could see what
Right, so
program.
we don't have, let me see if I find that file because it's just a, oh, here it is.
Yeah, he had 2 cases. They're dismissing.
All right, thank you. So he has 2 cases.
Yes, Judge. And
One is being dismissed.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Here's this.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And let me just put this in the system. All right, the court is calling 2024 CR 2338A, State versus Anthony Cochran. Can I have parties announce?
Jason Garahan for the state, Your Honor.
Meredith Chacon here for Mr. Cochran, Your Honor.
Are you Mr. Cochran?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you entered a plea on June 9th of no contest. According to the plea bargaining agreement, the state is recommending deferred adjudication. Have both parties received the PSI and TAP evaluation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objection, state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any objection?
No, Judge.
All right, any witnesses, state?
No, Your Honor.
Any witnesses, defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. I would like you to follow the plea bargain agreement and grant him the deferred as recommended by the state. If you remember, he wanted to do this PSI because he wanted to be able to talk to probation about any programs or things that they would be offering, and so that he could be aware of that before we came before you. He's very motivated. This charge was not. He's not a career criminal, Judge. This was something that really has changed his life. If you'll notice from the TAP, they're not recommending any treatment, but they wanted to do cognitive behavioral therapy, which he's in agreement with doing. He also would like to get his GED and just really has taken this very seriously. So I would just ask that you follow that. There is restitution mentioned. If the court would remember, you heard the trial of the person that actually caused the injuries. My client did not cause those injuries. He was charged as a party. So I would ask that the restitution remain with the person that caused those injuries, Judge, or at least a portion. And I have talked to the prosecutor about that. That's all.
The state's position is that it's joint several, Your Honor.
Yes, and that's the court's understanding as well. All right. I do remember the case because we had a jury trial. All right, so this is what the court is going to do. There's a $2,000 fine that will be probated. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, take in consideration 2024 CR 2339C, 5 years deferred adjudication. There's to be no contact with the following persons: Pablo Rodriguez, Salazar, Tina Jimenez, Esperanza Garza, Oscar Del Fiero, Mariano Rendon, Esmeralda Rendon, Matthew Rendon, Richard Campos. Are you currently employed?
Yes, Your Honor.
What do you do?
I'm a work for a painter.
All right. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider with minors or as a bouncer. Field visits 1 time per month for 6 months. There should be 200 hours of community service restitution. Those hours will be deemed satisfied if you obtain your GED or if some sort of trade school or higher level of education.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, 100 of those hours will be.
Okay, pause right there. This isn't just a routine scheduling moment. When you hear family violence, that changes everything. Jurors react differently. Judges monitor conditions more closely. And notice they're rejecting a plea and pushing toward trial. That means somebody thinks. They have leverage. Question for you. If this is truly a very short 2-day trial, who do you think is more confident, the defense or the state?
For that, the remaining 100 hours will be waived once you completed anger management. Now, what I can tell you, parties, with regards to restitution, the person is saying they believe they have $200,000 in medical bills. So we'll need to have a hearing on that.
Yes, sir.
So there's to be restitution, if any. To Pablo Salazar. And can I have a restitution hearing within 45 days? I think that should give everyone time to exchange medical records. I need a 45-day reset for restitution. All right, that'll be September 18th. Probation, is there anything else that's required? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, ma'am.
All right, did you review the trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, from here on out, everything that you do, you need to ask yourself, are my actions something that could potentially result in me being revoked? If the answer is yes, don't do it. If the answer is maybe, don't do it. So if there were a motion to revoke file, your range of punishment is up to 20 years in the prison. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Probation will go over conditions with you. If at some point you have an issue and you feel as though probation is not addressing it, you can always come back to the court and we'll see what we can do. All right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Oh, and Meredith on his restitution here, and he can appear by Zoom. Okay. All right, let's hear for the interpreter. What case is it?
I'm sorry, Judge. It's Fatima Melar.
All right, if you all come up, please.
This one.
So where are we on the immigration issues with Mac?
It's been submitted, Judge. I still don't have a letter from immigration. I'll resubmit it.
Okay, all right.
Make sure they follow us.
If for some reason they're not following up, if you would like a private immigration attorney to do that, just let us know.
Yes, Your Honor.
And one can be appointed.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, and then where are we on the CPS records? They've been received?
I was talking to Ashley, Judge, on this discovery update issue. She's in the process of giving me the CPS records, and I think maybe 2 or 3 more medical records. But other than that, I have everything except for those 3 documents.
All right, so this is going to be the last date for discovery, and state on this date, you need to be prepared to tender an offer.
Sure.
Ms. Ferguson, I need a 45-day reset. And this is for the state to tender an offer and for discovery. All right, September 18th, is that good for you, counsel?
It is, Your Honor.
All right, so we will be back on September 18th. That will be to make sure your attorney has all of the discovery. And at that time, the state will tender an offer to you. And then after that date, I will set a plea deadline date. All right, any questions? No. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
May I be excused?
Yes,
Your Honor?
thank you.
My pleasure.
Joe Ramos? Hello, where's Mr. Ramos? Come up. All right, today's plea deadline date.
Yes, Your Honor. Do you want to process?
Oh, no, Judge, I'm filling in for Andrea Crespo. I did communicate with her about the type of offer. She did tell me that she apologized, that she has not extended an offer to defense. My understanding is defense has given her several items to consider in formulating an offer, but Andrea says that she has yet to make one.
No, it says here in the notes that on July 14th.
This is actually a subtle but important legal chess move. The defense asked to reduce GPS restrictions, and the judge narrowed it down to location-based boundaries tied directly to the child. That's surgical instead of full restriction. It becomes precision monitoring, and notice the state backed off once the safety perimeter was clear.
I extended the plea deadline date to July 28th. Then I extended the plea deadline date further today.
And Judge, I guess what I can do is I can extend an offer to defense. What I relayed is just what the attorney had told me.
She told me the same thing. I know she was in trial last week, but we don't have an offer. She said she's still going through the mitigation that we provided, and said she apologized and said she just doesn't have an offer for me yet.
All right, so August 7th is going to be your final plea deadline date. No further extensions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will get one, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Val Duckview. All right, today's plea deadline date. So is he requesting a jury trial?
Yes, Your Honor. We would ask the court, though, to yield us the opportunity to put that offer on the record in a way that the court feels appropriate, and to make sure that I'd like to have on the record that he understands what.
All right. So, Mr. Vu, am I pronouncing your last name correctly?
Yes.
All right. Do you want a jury trial or a bench trial? If you come to me for a bench trial, what I can tell you, if the state proves its case beyond a reasonable doubt, I'm going to find you guilty. If they don't prove it, I'm going to find you not guilty. So, jury trial or bench trial?
Jury trial, bench first, and then if not, then reset it and then go to jury trial after that.
No. That's not how it works. So you have to make a choice if you want a bench trial. Basically, what a bench trial is, the state will call witnesses, but I will be the person making the decision on whether you're guilty or not guilty. A jury trial, 12 people will sit in the box. The state will call witnesses, and they will make the decision on whether you're guilty or not guilty. So, do you want a bench trial or jury trial? Or who knows? Maybe you want a hybrid. Maybe you want to come to me on one case for a bench trial and maybe go to another for a jury trial. Is that's what you want?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Which case would you like a bench trial on? There's criminal mischief, attempting to take a weapon away from an officer, and assault on a peace officer or judge.
I think getting the interpreter, I do believe he understands everything that we're saying.
Okay.
And he's communicated it, but I don't know that he's communicated it to to where we'd be careful, where we'd be comfortable with them going to felony trial. So that's one thing just wouldn't interpret.
All right, so what's the language?
Something to me.
We'll be able to get it.
And then in terms of his trials though, Judge, I don't think they would take that long. I do believe all of these are in one indictment. We can speak
Well,
on one indictment.
They're all from the same incident,
Yes, so,
but it's 3 separate indictments.
so that's correct. I'm sorry. I guess it wouldn't, I can't say that there's video evidence associated with all 3 incidents. And so I don't know that they would take, either of them would take any longer than the time it would take to prove the video.
I go to jury trial or bench trial.
In terms of, now that's what we talked about. If you want to go to the judge or to a jury, you had mentioned a jury before, but
Do a jury trial, and how long you think this trial will last?
2 to 3 days, Your Honor. That's including board time.
All right, 2 to 3 days. And Norma, let them know we'll need a Vietnamese translator.
is this on every, are we referring right now just to the criminal mischief or a trial for all 3? Or, I mean,
The state's position, we would be able to try each of the cases together, although if defense wants them separate, of course, it's up to y'all.
All right, so just let me know beforehand. All right, what date?
I can do the November 12th.
We can't do something sooner than, oh, you all have other cases that are capital murder cases and murder cases. All right. Right, so you say November 12th? All right, make sure there's a translator here. All right, and counsel, if you'll do an acknowledgement of, I think an acknowledgement discovery has already been completed.
Hold on $200,000 in medical bills that just escalated. Fast restitution hearings can get intense because now it's not about guilt, it's about financial liability. And here's the twist: the defense is arguing his client didn't directly cause the injuries, so the big question becomes how much responsibility does a party to the offense carry joint, and several liability can follow you for years. Would you fight that number or try to negotiate it down?
is there one of them?
Yes, there should be. Hi. Welcome. All right, who's here on John Hughes? Why's your client late?
He had car problems, Your Honor, but he notified me. I notified Norma as quickly as I could.
Nobody notified me.
My apologies, Judge. I don't have your cell phone number.
No, but I'm saying if you notified the staff, nobody from the staff notified me that he had car problems. All right, so.
My apologies.
No problem. No need for you to apologize. You notified, but it didn't come to me. All right. Today's plea deadline date.
Did we confer with the state on this? We're asking for, we're asking for one more additional plea deadline date. The state is going to check with Live Oak TV to determine if there's one video that might exist or not exist. We have a lot of rear cameras as far as like the back seats go. The allegation here is that there was an out license plate light. So given the fact that we have rear seat cameras, I'm hoping that there was a front facing dash camera so we can determine whether or not the stop was valid at all. State has agreed to look into this and they're okay with extending the deadline if the court is.
All right. August 7th.
Perfect. Thanks, Judge.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Will do, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Wait.
Gamaro, Mejia, Ortega. You never know where a day is going to take you, do you?
It's been interesting.
Yeah.
You're dating yourself with Ernest T. Bass.
I am telling
For
you.
those of us that know that.
Yes. There are some teachable moments in that.
Most of the time when we say that, people just go,
oh, yeah.
So Judge, on this one, this was a plea bargain deadline. I was going to ask the court for the plea bargain deadline. My father died the week after we were set. I haven't had a chance to look at the videos that I needed to. The state has the interview videos that I was supposed to look at. I just haven't had an opportunity to do it.
Your dad was such a great guy.
He was a cantankerous.
He was. Virginia would tell me he's cantankerous.
Yeah. it kind of runs in the family.
Yeah. All right. So we'll set this for your final plea deadline date in September.
That'd be perfect. Thank you, Judge. I'll get all this stuff done.
All right. What date, Norma? Just a plea deadline date. Put it in September. Counsel, are you available the week? Norma, is the week of the 15th open or no?
Yes, can we do, the 17th? It's a Wednesday?
No, it'd have to be a Monday, a Tuesday, or Thursday.
Thursday, please.
All right, Norma, if you'll put it for the 18th.
All right, thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. Who's here on Apollinar Rodriguez?
We are.
Thank you. All right, court is calling 2025 CR 001769, State versus Apollinar Rodriguez. Can I have parties announced?
Duffy Pitlock for the state of Texas, Your Honor.
Attorney Bill Simmons for defense.
And are you Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there applications in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, probation, this is an application. Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Apollinar, did you review the application for community supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it? You need to speak up.
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor, we are.
Mr. Rodriguez, did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
You're charged with an unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon. That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. By entering this plea, you're giving up those rights. Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he is currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rodriguez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 6 years in the prison. There's no application for deferred adjudication. The state recommends community supervision. They will take in consideration night mag number 744030. There's to be restitution of $60 to the Bexar County lab for testing, and night mag number 7443030. There's to be a judgment satisfied with the plea bargain agreement in 2025 CC 009013. There's to be no contact with Christian Rivas, a TAP evaluation, and follow all recommendations.
That right there is what we call the reality check moment. Deferred adjudication sounds merciful, but the judge just reminded him the hammer is still hanging overhead 20 years. That's the leverage probation holds. This is why compliance matters. One violation, one bad decision, and that suspended sentence becomes very real prison time. The court isn't threatening, it's clarifying stakes.
Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 8 years. There'll be 200 hours community service restitution and anger management. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
State offers State's Exhibit 1 and all attachments, Your Honor.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, state, you may be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, state. Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, thank you, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent? You need to speak up.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty and the court will find you guilty. All right, proceeding with sentencing.
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We would just pray that the court follow the plea agreement as negotiated with the state.
All right. All right, do you understand you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition? Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so in the police report, not only do you tell them that the weapon is yours, you want to make sure your name is down so that you can collect that weapon. You're not getting that weapon back. You understand? All right, are you employed?
No, ma'am.
When's the last time you had employment?
Before I got arrested, I was working for a moving company, Lumpy.
Mm-hmm. Doing what?
Moving.
Oh, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And how long were you, and state, you may be excused. How long were you employed at that?
I was working for like 3 years with it was my aunt, but she had like her own company. But then I started working Lumpy, like by myself, like where we get on Facebook and they don't need people to pull up at a job and do the job.
Okay.
And that's what I was doing. But now I'm thinking about getting another job that I'm already like looking into.
All right. Do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
4 months and 1.5 years.
And do they live with you?
Yes, ma'am. I have 5 step kids.
So what's that total number?
7.
7?
Yes.
And 7 live with you?
Yes.
Okay. How far did you go in school?
To 10th grade.
Why did you drop out?
Just a lot of nonsense.
All right. So what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
I want to get my GED, get a good job, or a job for now, and then work my way to a better job.
All right. How often had you been using?
For a couple of years.
All right. So here's the thing. When you have young children, you cannot use marijuana. You cannot have these people that you were with around your children. You're supposed to be setting examples for them. You understand?
Yes,
Now, you've had a rocky start to begin with because you're a felon. So that means you have a past, right?
Yes,
That's not good. And now you're a felon in possession of a weapon. So you're going to have to change your ways. Otherwise, you're going to end up at the prison. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, who is Raymond Rene Perez to you?
He was a friend.
He was what?
He was my friend.
Okay. And who is Ivani Marlene Velasco Viramontes?
That's my wife.
That's your wife?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So where were the children while you were all out driving around?
We were not driving. We were working at the smoke shop where they went. We were at work.
Mm-hmm. Well, why are you driving? Well, why do you have marijuana in your vehicle and a gun in your vehicle? And you have all these children with all these different ages, range of ages, who could get that weapon and end up killing you or killing one of the siblings. Now, if your house were searched today, are there going to be guns there? All right, because I require field visits, and so probation is going to do field visits at your home. And you had better make sure everything is that it should be. Yes? You say,
He didn't have anything, Judge. She's just listening to you.
Sorry.
okay. All right. There's going to be 6 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 8 years, regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, take in consideration NIMAC number 744030, restitution of $60 to Bear County Laboratory for testing in NIMAC number 744030. There's to be a judgment satisfied in 2025 CC 009013. There's to be no contact with Raymond Rene Perez. There's to be a TAP evaluation out of custody. You need to make sure you make that appointment. If you do not, a warrant's going to be issued for your arrest and a motion to revoke will be filed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
There's going to be field visits 1 time per month until further notice. There's going to be 200 hours of community service restitution. 100 of those hours will be deducted once parenting classes are completed. The remaining 100 hours will be deducted if he obtains his GED or some type of trade school. And there's going to be 30 sober meetings in 30 days. And there's to be proof of employment within 30 days. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors, and no employment at vape shops or smoke shops. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And there's to be no contact with Christian Rivas, probation. Is there anything else he needs?
Oh, yeah.
Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, ma'am.
Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. You have a lot of children. Doesn't matter, stepchildren, biological children, you've taken on the responsibility to be the father to all children. You understand?
Mhm.
So you're going to have to get your life together, because the 3-month-old can't take care of themselves, right? And the other children can't take care of themselves. You can't send them to Travis Park and say, good luck to you, because they can't get employment. They're dependent on you, and the decisions you make, you're making for them. So when you decide to ride around in a vehicle with a gun, you're bringing them along for the ride. When you're using marijuana, you're bringing them along to use marijuana. You understand? And your young children, when you come into the house, if you're smelling like marijuana, that's impacting their health. Your children are still developing physically and mentally, and do you want them to have the best start they could possibly have? Do you want them to ever have any trouble and be involved in criminal activity? So you're the person that they're looking up to. And if they see you doing this, they're going to think it's okay to do it. You understand?
Sure.
And if your wife doesn't want to get with the program and stop using, then you're going to have to choose your children over her. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Probation is going to be coming out to your house every month. When they come out, you need to let them in. You understand? If there is something that you feel you need that probation is not providing, you can always come back to the court and we'll see what we can do. All right, good luck to you, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And also, Your Honor, you can always come back to the court to address that other issue we talked about, so it's in terms of the length, okay? Yes, we'll put on the record. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank
Be
you.
excused, Your Honor.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
Dr. Mayor, please approve.
Yes.
This is an on docket case.
All right.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. All right, just give me one moment. Let me put this in my system real quick.
No rush.
And this is courtroom education in real time. You don't get to test drive a bench trial and then switch to a jury if you don't like the vibe once you elect judge or jury. That's your lane. The judge is being direct, maybe a little sharp, but she's protecting the record because if a defendant later claims confusion, this transcript shows crystal clarity. Strategic reminder. Trial choice is not cosmetic.